Jobs are disappearing. Ignore the headlines of labor shortages, workers unavailable, businesses struggling to hire. Those headlines are wrong, or at least they're about to be. In fact, half of America could lose their job. Not this month or this year, but soon. There's only one thing we can do about it. I'm Skylar James. Welcome back to the channel. A few years ago, a detailed report known as the Oxford Study looked at the issue of automation and concluded that 47% of American jobs are vulnerable to being replaced by automation and robots. 47%! That's tens of millions of positions, and it might even be the job you do today. All because technology is replacing humans in the workforce. Technology costs businesses less money than human workers. In fact, labor is often the highest cost a business faces. So phasing out labor is good for margins. And with the current labor shortage, I expect businesses to be under more pressure to find automation solutions. The more boring your job, the more repetitive your job, the higher the risk of it being replaced by robots. This reality might sound bleak and depressing, but there's a solution, and it's not stopping the automation revolution. Let's go back to that labor shortage. Why are there so many openings in the first place? Why in 2021 are industries suddenly facing a candidate drought? Because the pandemic winners took workers from pandemic losers. It's that simple. When restaurants and movie theaters shut down, those workers shifted to industries that had openings. The three biggest being Amazon, food delivery, and legal cannabis. All three have a low barrier to entry, require minimal to no prior experience, and offer competitive wages relative to those old jobs. Amazon increased its total number of employees by 62% in 2020. They now employ 1 out of every 153 American workers. Legal cannabis jobs have nearly doubled since the end of 2019, and food delivery has become a keystone to the evening life across all the US. So that's where the workers win. But guess what? Automation is still coming, and it will come for those Amazon jobs and those weed jobs and those food delivery jobs, just like it has for manufacturing ones and the bank tellers and the grocery store cashiers. The reality is that the worker shortage of 2021 is only temporary, and technological advances are going to replace human workers by the millions before 2030, and it's already happening. So how are smart people preparing for this? There's a saying about hiking in the desert. If you wait until you're thirsty to start drinking water, it's already too late. Smart investors are taking action today through their investments to prepare for the aftermath of automation. There are basically 3 schools of thought to know about. The first is outlined in writings and books such as Superintelligence, World Without Mind, and Life 3.0. Books written by esteemed scientists and physicists. And guess what? They think AI will ultimately end in the destruction of humanity on the scale of like robots wiping out the planet. Probably robots that look like Jeff Bezos. I don't know, that's just me speculating. And that's probably 100 years away. But it's relevant to this discussion because the automation of jobs is not the end game of technology, it's just the beginning. Automation is like this cute little puppy version of artificial intelligence, and we all say, oh, that's so cute, it makes life easier, and we don't think automation has teeth and claws, and then the puppy grows up and becomes a lion. It's not so cute anymore. I call this bleak future the Terminator scenario. Another school of thought, one that doesn't go as far into the future, is that the automation revolution is a great thing for people, something we should embrace, because it means humans aren't going to be cogs in the wheel anymore. No more 9-to-5s just to scrape by. Instead, we'll have free time to pursue our own passions, spending our time the way we want to spend it, as automation does the work of society. We'll call this the beach day scenario. And the third school of thought, the one you should be most focused on, is that of 47% of the workforce going to lose their income, their way of life. Those tens of millions of Americans will need government assistance in order to feed and house themselves. Big talkers like Yang and Zuck think UBI can keep people afloat as human-filled jobs disappear. Will it? I don't want us to rely on that. Check out this list of the biggest employers in the US. Delivery, retail, and food dominate this list. All of these industries are low-hanging fruit for an automation takeover. You think somebody in a warehouse role at Amazon in 2021 will still be needed in 2030? No chance. Amazon is all about cost reduction, and automation fits that bill perfectly. Humans dropping parcels at your door instead of drones in 2030? No chance. Buying a latte from a person instead of a kiosk? No chance. The biggest employers are going to shed 20 to 50% of their workforce in the next 10 to 20 years. So add to the Terminator scenario and the beach day scenario a number 3. I'll call this the go hungry scenario. Whether through public assistance or some other means, people are going to need to feed themselves. Is UBI the answer? Not a long-term solution in my opinion. Or do we retrain the workforce to meet these changing economic conditions? Do we have time to retrain the workforce? How about this? A different approach. Invest. Invest aggressively today. You, me, as individuals should be investing to stay ahead of this. No matter what field you're in, whether you're at risk of automation or not, no matter how little a monthly contribution you can afford to make, please invest. Maybe even in automation companies. Maybe in hitting that like button. Because companies will be growing their margins as they shed their workforce, big names like Amazon and Walmart will be much more valuable than they are today. The main players winning in this whole thing aren't us, the little guys. It's them, the biggest of the big guys, the ones that can afford the automation robots. And you or I could get on a soapbox and shout down Bezos or big business, but this is no different than what's been happening the last few hundred years under capitalism. And being on a soapbox isn't going to keep you fed. It doesn't matter what your career field is. I'm here to tell you it's at risk. Unless, of course, you are a recreational therapist, which, according to the Oxford report, is the least likely job to be automated. Congratulations, recreational therapists and everybody else in the top 20. For the rest of us, we need to invest and invest well to stay ahead of this. Invest in broad, diversified portfolios so that you capture the fact that every company is about to increase its efficiency. As margins grow, so do market caps, so do share prices. Quadruple your money between now and 2030. And make sure to definitely invest in yourself, in your knowledge, just like you're doing right now. Invest in your abilities, your strengths, so that you have the flexibility to switch jobs at the drop of a hat. By doing these things, you're setting yourself up to thrive, no matter the scenario. So, which one do you want? Invest wisely today, and I hope to see you on the beach day scenario. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.